You've been lied to your whole life. Not by a person, not by the media, but by the very first thing you were ever taught in school. Remember sitting in that tiny plastic chair, staring at a colorful poster on the wall? Sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. 5 senses. Done. Case closed. Except it's not. Not even close. Welcome to Tiny But Wise, where we take the small things you ignore every day and reveal the big truths hiding inside them. Because here's the thing. Scientists have now confirmed that human beings don't have 5 senses. We have at least 21, maybe more. And the wild part, you've been using all of them your entire life without even realizing it. Every single day, every single moment. So let me ask you something. Have you ever caught yourself pulling your hand back from a hot stove before you even consciously registered the pain? Have you ever stood up too fast and felt the whole room spin? Have you ever known, without looking, exactly where your own hand was in the dark? If you said yes to any of those, congratulations. You just used 3 senses that your elementary school teacher never told you about. And here's what should make you really uncomfortable. If we've been wrong about something this basic, something we teach to every child in every school across America, what else have we been wrong about? Let's start at the beginning. The idea of 5 senses goes all the way back to Aristotle. Yes, a philosopher from ancient Greece, roughly 350 BC, looked at the world and said humans have 5 senses, and somehow, for over 2,000 years, almost nobody seriously challenged it. It became fact. It got printed in textbooks. It got put on classroom posters. And it stuck. But here's where it gets interesting. Modern neuroscience, the actual scientific study of how our brains and bodies work, has completely shattered that idea. Because a sense isn't just about your eyes or ears or nose. A sense is any system your body uses to detect information about the world, inside you or around you, and send it to your brain. And when you look at it that way, 5 is laughably small. So let's go through some of the ones you never learned about. And I promise, by the time we're done, you will never think about your own body the same way again. First up, proprioception. This is your body's ability to know where it is in space without using your eyes. Right now, without looking, you know where your feet are. You know whether your arms are crossed or open. You know if your head is tilted. That's not sight. That's not touch. That's a completely separate sense, powered by thousands of tiny receptors in your muscles, joints, and tendons, all feeding information to your brain in real time. Athletes train this sense constantly. Gymnasts, basketball players, surgeons, they all depend on it. And you've had it your whole life without knowing its name. Then there's vestibular sense. This one lives in your inner ear, in tiny fluid-filled canals that detect motion and balance. It's why you feel dizzy after spinning in circles. It's why astronauts feel disoriented in zero gravity. It's why your body automatically shifts your weight when you're standing on one leg. And it's completely separate from hearing, even though it lives right next to your eardrum. Next, thermoception, the ability to sense temperature. Now you might think, isn't that just touch? No. It's not. Your skin has completely separate receptors for detecting heat and cold. Different nerve fibers. Different pathways to the brain. When you walk into an air-conditioned room in July and feel that wave of cool air hit your skin, that's thermoception firing, totally distinct from the pressure sensors that tell you something is touching you. Here's one that might genuinely surprise you, nociception, the sense of pain. Pain is not just really strong touch. It is its own dedicated sensory system with its own specific receptors, called nociceptors, spread throughout your body. These receptors don't measure pressure or temperature. They specifically detect damage or potential damage. And they send urgent signals up your spinal cord directly to your brain, bypassing normal sensory pathways. Pain is a sense, and a powerful one. Now, let's talk about interoception. And this one might be the most mind-bending of all. Interoception is your body's ability to sense what's happening inside itself. Your hunger, your thirst, your heartbeat, the feeling that your bladder is full, the tight feeling in your chest when you're anxious. All of that is interoception. Your body is constantly monitoring its own internal state and sending that information to your brain. Researchers now believe that interoception is deeply connected to your emotional life, your sense of self, and even your mental health. Conditions like anxiety and depression may partly be disorders of interoception, the body's internal signals getting misread by the brain. And we're still not done. There's chronoception, the sense of time. Your brain literally tracks the passage of time. Not perfectly, but it does it. That's why a boring hour feels longer than an exciting one. That's why you can sometimes wake up just before your alarm goes off. Your internal clock is a real biological system, and it's a form of sensing the world. There's magnetoreception, and yes, humans might actually have it. Some researchers have found evidence that human brains can respond to magnetic fields, though the science is still developing. Birds use it to navigate during migration. Some fish use it. Whether we truly sense magnetic north the way a homing pigeon does is still being studied. But the receptor tissue has been found in the human nose. Let that sink in. There's also chemoreception in your blood vessels, monitoring oxygen and carbon dioxide levels. There are stretch receptors in your lungs that tell your brain how full they are. There are glucose sensors, osmoreceptors that detect how hydrated your cells are. Every single one of these is a biological sensing system feeding data to your brain around the clock. So here's the twist, and this is where the real myth-busting happens. We didn't discover these senses recently. Scientists have known about many of them for decades. Proprioception was first seriously studied in the late 1800s. Vestibular research has been ongoing for over a century. So why is the five senses myth still alive? Why is it still on classroom posters in schools across America right now? Because we love simple stories. The human brain is wired for simplicity. 5 is clean. 5 is easy. 5 fits on a poster. 21 doesn't. But the cost of that simplicity is a fundamental misunderstanding of what it means to be human. You are not a creature with 5 windows to the world. You are a living, breathing, sensing machine with dozens of overlapping, constantly active detection systems running simultaneously, feeding a constant stream of data to a 3-pound organ sitting in your skull that somehow turns all of it into your experience of reality. And here's the most powerful insight of all. Your reality, the thing you experience as the world, is not the world. Is your brain's best guess at the world, constructed from the signals coming in through at least 21 different channels. Change any one of those channels, the way a concussion disrupts vestibular sense or the way anxiety distorts interoception, and your entire experience of reality shifts. Your senses are not windows. They are translators. And like all translators, they can get things wrong. That means the world you walk through every day, the room you're sitting in, the sounds around you, the feeling of a chair beneath you, all of it is a construction, a model, built from sensory data you mostly never consciously think about. So next time you walk into a room and just feel like something's off, trust that. Next time your gut tells you something, listen to it. Because that might not be intuition. That might be one of your 21 senses telling you something your 5-sense brain hasn't caught up to yet. You were never just 5 senses. You were always so much more than that. If you found this video valuable and learned something new, do us a favor, like subscribe to Tiny But Wise and share it with your loved ones. Now your turn. Drop a comment with the next topic. We read every comment, and the best suggestion gets a shout out. See you there.